Hey, hadn't done any videos for quite a while. I've been pretty busy. Springtime for us is intensely busy. It's not just the bees, it's the garden and the fruit trees and everything else. Just thought I would kind of give a overall update as to what's going on. We finished through winter with 3 strong hives. I was pretty confident, feeling good. I had this one that you're seeing now, the second one, and this third one over here. And as you can see on the third one, not exactly a ton of bees there. But what happened was that being a rookie, I didn't recognize what I was seeing. I want to say it was February. We got into this hive. I was seeing drones all over it. I figured, man, this, I only got one buzz in my head right now. I figured, especially where we are, we're an hour north of Houston. You know, the weather is about almost a month ahead of everybody else. Even like David and Barnyard Bees in Georgia, it's just, I mean, we're ahead of everybody. It's warmer here. Damn, tagging me. A little edgy, I guess. I was out here earlier. Maybe that's it. But anyway, so I left 2 supers on that hive. It had 2 deeps and 2 supers. The one super had a pretty good amount of honey in it. The one on top, they hadn't quite capped, and I thought, well, I'm just going to leave them this to get through the winter. And when we got into the hive, we were finding in the supers, in the supers, queen cells everywhere. And it turned out that something, who knows what, something happened to that queen. And we got 32 pounds of honey off of that hive and that queen last year, starting with the 5-frame nuke. She was incredible, and it's heartbreaking. And so, you know, I thought, well, it was warm, the weather was great, and I thought, well, let's go ahead and do some splits. So we split it into 2 other hives. Basically, I just took the 2 supers off because they had queen cells everywhere and broke them apart. Well, and then all of a sudden, as usual, the weather changed its mind, got super cold, and we lost basically those supers, or those cells, I'm sorry. So, man, this one is really just buzzing my head. I don't know why she's so mad at me. If you can see her or not. I'm gonna move over here a little bit. So that hive, it was 2 deeps earlier, and I've been squeezing them back down. They're doomed, you know. They have no eggs. They don't even have a laying worker in there, which is kind of amazing to me. But I have 2 packages coming from Barnyard Bees, so I'm basically letting them take care of those frames and keep them, you know, disease-free and moss-free, etc. They're doing a good job. And then my other 2, as you can see, I've got 3 supers on that one and 2 supers on this one. What I just did earlier today on this strong hive over here, I couldn't find the queen. You know, I had 2 supers on it also, and she's red marked. She's a Barnyard Bee queen, and I just couldn't find her. I tried and tried and tried, and so finally I was like, all right, screw it. I put a queen excluder above the 2 deeps, and I just waited about 5 days, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna find out where she's at. Well, of course, my luck, she was in the top half, and she laid a lot, man. I mean, that girl filled this thing up with eggs. There was larvae. It was crazy. So we found her, caught her, put her down in the lower section. And I don't know, maybe somebody else would know who's more experienced than me. Maybe because she was caught up high and it was tight, they started making swarm cells. And some of them were, one of them was capped, several were not. And I was like, well, and this was last weekend that we saw this, and I knew we had some cold weather coming again Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I wasn't about to do the same mistake. So I basically left it until today. So I got in there, and there's a lot of cat brood in there. Not tons, but there is. So they'll hatch out, and then of course they'll use that super for the flow. We're actually in a little bit of a flow. It's not huge, but it is a flow, and they're bringing in pollen, of course, like crazy. Very busy. It's beautiful today. It's almost 82 degrees. So when I got in there and started looking around in the supers today, I did find one capped queen cell. Oh shit! Boy, they're tagging me. Sorry about that. Must be it's because I'm in their flight path or something. I don't know. Anyway, let me pause this.